Don't tell her because she's gonna wind up.
Okay.
She's getting up on the ground and hurting.
Welcome back to Advocacy, Alchemy with Professor Ross. Today we have a good one, guys. We're taking a deep dive into a shocking arrest that happened not on the streets, not at a traffic stop, but on board a luxury cruise ship. That's right, today's lecture sails from the port of Key West, Florida, and lands squarely in the courtroom of accountability. A woman aboard the Valiant Lady, an adults-only Virgin Voyages cruise ship. The woman was arrested after she allegedly sprayed a dangerous cleaning chemical into the face of a crew member, causing injuries severe enough that required that person to go to the hospital. The twist, she claims she doesn't remember a thing. She flips from no English to fluent denials. And she does it from a ship that has cameras on every corridor running 24/7. Today we'll watch the footage, break down the laws involved, and I'll ask you for your view as a juror to both analyze this case and to make a decision. So with that, let's jump in.
Yeah, just her, please. Take a seat.
Is that I'm her husband?
We'll be with you in a few minutes. Yeah. We'll be with you in a few minutes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Devin, Civil Services Director on board. This is Eliseo.
Okay.
So I'm Officer Roscoe of the Key West Police Department. This is Officer Betts.
Okay.
So, pretty sure you know why we're here.
I'm only assuming that it's because somebody I was with sprayed an employee.
Okay.
That's all I can
So, right now you're not under arrest, but obviously you're not free to leave. So before we go any further, I'm going to read you your Miranda rights, okay?
Oh my God.
You're not under arrest, like I said. It's just...
Because you understand we're on a ship
Yep.
that
Okay.
you can't leave freely anyhow. So in order to interview you, we just have to do it.
Yeah, it's...
We're
it's the law.
investigating. That's all we're doing.
You said that somebody that was with you
Yeah, it was
sprayed?
not. It was not me.
Sprayed? Who is that someone?
Go ahead. You can...
I only know her first name. Her name is Anita or Anna. I know her by Anita.
Is she staying with you?
She's in the same group that we're with.
Okay.
I don't know her last name. Like I said, I just met her. This is the second time I meet her.
So, like I said, not under arrest, just right now you're not free to leave, so before I can ask you anything, I have to read you your Miranda rights, okay?
Okay.
So, walk me through what happened.
We went to the restroom. Her and I went together with another group of
No, this is
yesterday
Anita?
night. Anita.
Okay.
So we walked to the restroom together. I go into the restroom. I use the restroom. I come out. Anita starts talking to me. Next thing I know, she sees somebody who works there. I don't know if it was a server or somebody else, but it was an employee. She gets down. There's a janitorial kit on the floor. She gets down. She picks up the bottle, and she sprays her in the face.
Anita.
Yes. All I know is that I told her, we're going to get in trouble. Like, I apologized to the employee. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, we're going to get in trouble. Let's just go. And then we walked to where the rest of the party was at.
Okay. So you didn't see anything prior to Anita spraying the crew member in the face with the chemical?
I was in the bathroom. I came out. I don't remember seeing anything. I mean, I was
Did
drinking,
you see her spray her?
I did.
You did? Okay. So, do you know why we're here?
No,
No clue whatsoever?
my friend now told me that I don't know what's happening.
Okay. So, right now you're not under arrest or anything like that, but you're not free to leave. So before we go any further, like I said, you're not under arrest right now, okay? I have to read you your Miranda rights before I can ask you any questions or talk to you any further, okay?
I need Spanish.
You see somebody speak Spanish?
Yeah, Spanish, yes.
Please, no.
You're not
what's
under...
happened? No,
I'll explain everything to you, but I have to read you this first, okay?
but what's happened with the police? I don't know.
I'll explain everything in just a couple of minutes, okay? You said you wanted someone that speaks Spanish, so they're going to get someone that speaks Spanish to translate. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Was she out on the ship last night on the second deck, right? Is where it happened? Deck 2?
Yeah, deck 6.
Deck 6? About midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning?
¿Qué estaba haciendo ayer? Usted estaba afuera en el piso 6, ayer como a la 1 de la mañana. ¿Qué fue lo que usted estaba haciendo alrededor de esa hora?
Estábamos en la discoteca.
En la discoteca, en el piso 6, la que tiene muchas luces. She said like she doesn't remember very well, but they went to the manor on deck 6, like on the discotheque.
Did anything happen while she was there?
¿Pasó algo cuando usted estaba ahí? ¿No?
Estábamos bailando.
She said no, nothing. They were dancing only.
Dancing, who's she with?
Ana, ¿es su número de
speaking
cumpleaños? No se preocupe. ¿No?
Who is that? Ask her who that is.
¿Quién es ella? That's her. She said that's me.
Okay.
That's the probability.
Compared to the other two, which were 0.
Okay. And then
the other stuff.
and then the
Gabriella, explain to her the seriousness of the issue, and honesty is her best choice here, because everything's on video, and it only makes it worse if she tries to cover up a mistake.
Okay.
Okay?
Me comenta que she said she.
So nothing happened.
She said she doesn't know anything. That she
So
doesn't remember
there wasn't.
anything.
She didn't pick up a bottle and spray it like a spray bottle, a chemical bottle. Because I have witnesses. I have witnesses that said she did.
Okay. Le preguntan si no se acuerda que usted había una botella de químicos y que usted
Honesty
y se
it
la-
goes a long way.
No, y se
Me la
la
tomé.
roció a las otras a una persona en particular, que hay testigos que dicen que usted hizo eso. ¿Es cierto?
No, yo no me acuerdo. Lo juro por mis dos bebés. Yo no me acuerdo. ¿Una botella de qué? ¿De alcohol?
De químicos.
So why would we have people telling us that she did it and identify her as the person that picked up the bottle and sprayed the crew member in the face? Why? Let me give her a chance.
Para mí no
She's going.
pasó. I don't remember. You can put anything,
So she doesn't
She says
remember.
She doesn't remember anything.
Was she that intoxicated that she blacked out and doesn't remember?
¿Estaba tomada?
Yo estaba tomada.
Muy
It's not
tomada.
an excuse, but I'm just for curiosity.
She said she was drunk. That
Okay,
she
stand
doesn't
up.
remember.
I'm done. Come on, stand up.
Let her know she's being arrested for aggravated.
No.
No, put your hand.
Don't make
Tell
it
her to
worse.
put her hands behind her back. Don't resist us.
No, por favor. No, por favor.
Don't
Let
tell
me-
her because she's gonna wind up.
Okay.
She's getting up on the ground and
And-
hurting. Put your hands behind her back.
No.
Okay.
¿Por qué? ¿Qué hice?
No mueve.
No, no. Okay.
No mueve.
Okay. Pero what I do? What I do?
Tell her she
What
sprayed
I
one of
do.
the crew members
In the
with
face.
chemical that the crew member is now going to the
And I have
hospital.
two witnesses.
I don't do that, nothing.
en un tripulante en los ojos
No.
cuando estaba en el baño del...
No, I don't do that.
Two
I
people,
don't do that.
two people said you did it,
No,
and the crew member picked you out
no, I don't do that.
from the photo.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that.
Well,
Sir, I don't do
I've
that.
got 3 people that said you did.
Can I
And you,
see-
look, stop. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so you do speak English.
No, I speak English.
You understand it,
not
right?
to- no, I
So
don't.
here's what happened. Your day in court will happen, and if you didn't do it, fight in court, but you go to jail.
What happened? What happened?
Van a ir a corte para demostrar porque hubo gente que dijo que usted le roció.
Yo no hice nada. I don't do that.
Call 172
I
1015.
have to keep.
Pen.
I don't do that.
Well, maybe the alcohol did, but that was from your body.
I don't do
What
that.
is the
I don't do
relationship
that,
with the
sir.
other two people who were there?
Can
Well, how
I
did-
see the people? I don't do that. I don't
You want to see the people?
¿Cuál es la
She said you did it,
No,
and she said you did it.
no, I
Your
don't
friends.
do that. No, I don't do that.
Your friends.
I don't do that.
Your friend said you're the one that did it.
Yo no lo
The
hice.
girl that got sprayed, you're the one that did it.
No,
Yeah.
yo no lo hice.
You just said that you were so drunk you don't know.
No,
So how can you tell me?
I
Let's
don't.
go.
I
I'm done.
don't.
Does she?
Yo
Does
no
she
lo
have
hice.
her? Ask her like
Is she
driver's
here?
license.
Is she here with somebody?
Tiene su teléfono y su documento.
Okay, so they can
My
take care of her
husband,
property.
mi
Yes.
esposo está aquí, pueden
We'll
decirle
talk
lo
to
que
you. We'll
pasó.
tell her we'll let her husband know she's
Ay,
going to
ay,
jail.
decirle lo que pasó.
Le vamos a informar a su marido. No se
Yo no lo
preocupe.
hice.
I don't understand. I
Esto
don't
es
look. You don't understand. You don't speak
illegal.
English. You don't
No.
speak English. I don't speak Spanish. So
Okay.
if you talk to her, she can tell me.
Yo no lo hice. Me están haciendo esto una cosa que yo no hice.
But she did just a
She
minute.
said she didn't do it. That
Okay, well,
Yo
she
no lo
should
hice.
let her know. I've got 3 people that said she did. 3
No.
witnesses that said she did.
No.
She'll get her day in court, and she can plead her case to the judge.
Okay.
End of it.
Yo
She's
no
going to
lo
jail.
hice.
3 personas, ella te está diciendo, tenemos 3 personas que vieron lo que pasó, ¿vale? Y eso, entonces usted lo puede explicar en la corte.
Yo no lo hice. Hice.
Tiene,
We need to get in touch
Yeah.
with her husband. Does she have? I need her driver's license, and if she
Mi
wants to take her,
esposo. Yo no
¿Tiene
lo
la
hice.
licencia de
My
conducir o
husband.
pasaporte?
we're gonna talk to
¿De conducir o pasaporte? ¿Con usted?
Aquí no.
En la cabina.
Sí.
¿Tiene
Yo
pasaporte?
no lo hice. No, no tengo
Okay,
pasaporte.
so let's do.
Does she have her ID though?
in the
No, nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Don't do that.
So
Yo no
We'll
lo
get out of the
hice.
car.
Yeah.
We'll get
Yo
the
no lo
ID,
hice.
and we'll get out of here.
this one.
Yo no lo hice. Yo no lo hice. I don't do that anything.
No, someone else is there, so they're gonna go up and get it.
I don't do that.
Well, you're saying you didn't do it, but then you say you're so drunk. You were so drunk that you don't remember.
No,
So
I don't do that. I don't do that.
You still smell it. Too
yeah, I can literally smell the alcohol.
much to drink.
No. I don't do that. I don't do that.
It's fine? It's fine, okay.
They know.
Okay, copy.
Enjoy the cruise, folks.
Say nothing. Why you do that for me, sir? Why? I don't do that, sir.
I've already explained it. I have 3 people that saw you do it,
No, who?
and the person that you sprayed is in the hospital.
Who?
Doesn't matter who. They were able to
But it's
identify
not,
you.
it's not true.
Well-
It's not. Sir, I don't do that. Who is the person say this?
That'll all be in. That'll all be
No.
in the police report.
No. I need to see my husband.
No. Do you have
Nothing.
no underwear?
Yes,
Okay.
underwear.
Do you have anything on you? Any drugs, weapons?
No.
Okay. All right. Step in.
Her ID. I got her
Okay.
phone.
Lean back. Lean back.
And
See.
I don't do that, sir. I'm a good person. Help to
Scoot that way. Scoot. There you
Phone
go.
and the photos are there.
I'm a good person. I'm a good mom.
I'm sorry?
Well, good people. Good people
Listen,
make bad mistakes.
Anna, here's the reality. Okay?
I don't do
Last
turn.
night, you had a drink. You sprayed a young lady with chemicals. Okay, it's not a whether you did or didn't. Unprovoked, no less. And for no reason, you sprayed her. And she's going to the hospital, and hopefully she'll have eyesight. It's very serious. For whatever reason, the alcohol made you do something bad. Since you don't remember, it must be that. But alcohol, being drunk is not an excuse for doing what you did to that young lady. Because she's messed up over this. And hopefully her eyesight's good. Okay? Yes. Both the girls you're with finally told us the truth, and she picked you out of those photos from the camera, wearing the same dress, the same hair, everything. And she's like, I don't know why. When about 1 o'clock in the morning. before you went back.
I
Yeah. And remember, listen, Anna, listen. When you do something, they trace you over the ship via the camera system the whole way around. And they can tell you where and where they went. And the woman that looks identically like you went to your cabin and came out as you this morning. It's 100%.
Well, and she even identified herself in the photo.
Right,
but I don't stay in so much.
what you did. Okay?
Simple.
It's possible. Maybe you don't remember because you're blackout drunk. Okay? So you'll have your day in court and your chance to tell the judge what happened. And if you didn't remember what happened, that's fine.
But we
You
have
let 'em know.
court today.
Not
We
today.
can see my kids.
You see the judge in the morning or tomorrow. You're not going back on the ship. You're spending the night in jail here. It's a felony. The judge will set a bond, and then you'll have to bond out. Okay? It's a very serious crime.
Okay, so they're actually docked in Key West, Florida. They haven't gone out into the ocean yet, so the laws that apply would be from Florida, since this is where the police department who came to deal with this situation is. So let's start with the first law based on laws in Florida. Battery. This is found at the Florida Statute Section 784.03. And it's defined as actually and intentionally touching or striking another person against their will or intentionally causing some bodily harm. Now, felony level battery applies when great bodily harm or permanent disabilities result. It carries a penalty up to 5 years in prison if it's a battery that's been elevated to a felony. Here, spraying a chemical into someone's face, causing an injury, especially to a person's eyes, that fits squarely within the statute. And if permanent damage occurs, it's going to be felony level battery. Next, we have aggravated battery. This is 784.045. Now, this is defined as a battery causing great bodily harm, permanent disability, or permanent disfigurement, or involving a deadly weapon. All right, now this is a second-degree felony punishable up to 15 years in prison. Now, this depends on the chemical that was used. This charge could apply if the chemical is classified as a harmful or caustic substance, something that's like acid or burns to the touch. Number 3, disorderly intoxication. This is found at section 856.011. Now, this is defined as being intoxicated or endangering the safety of another person, that's the one, or property, or causing a public disturbance, and that's number 2. All right, penalty. This is a second-degree misdemeanor. It carries up to 60 days in jail. Here, the woman's drunken behavior and potential blackout might trigger this charge, especially on a vessel that's been docked in a public U.S. port. Number 4, resisting arrest without violence. This is found at 843.02. This is defined as resisting, obstructing, or opposing a law enforcement officer in the lawful execution of their legal duties without violence. This is a first-degree misdemeanor. It carries up to 1 year in jail, a fine of up to $1,000, potential probation of 1 year. This is one of our 111 scenarios. Here, the woman's denial and the minor physical resistance she had when they were going to arrest her, it could apply. Now, I'm really showing you all different laws that can apply, especially when we have a video like this. The original video doesn't talk about what her charges were. I don't even know what her real name is to go search her out. So it gets, it gets iffy, especially if it didn't run in the news where we actually can find out a person's real name. There is still some anonymity out there. Okay. All right. Finally, you have this final charge, criminal mischief. This is section 806.13. And, this could apply if there was any damage to any property caused by her using those sprays improperly. Next, let's move into our evidentiary standards, because they still will apply the same on a cruise ship or during a traffic stop or when a person's in the courtroom. Let's walk through our 6 levels of evidence used in our legal system. Let's start from the lowest to the highest. First, there's mere suspicion. This is a gut feeling or a hunch, but it isn't enough for any legal action to be taken. A good example from this cruise ship incident is when officers might have started with suspicion based on the crew reports, but they don't have enough just yet to arrest anyone. They have to actually come in and do some investigation. Moving up a level to reasonable suspicion. All right, this is when the government or the police have specific and articulable facts that something unlawful has occurred. Here, there's multiple witnesses. Remember, there's 2 witnesses, and then there's a victim, all describing the same story and identifying the suspect, Anita or Anna. We don't even know what her real name is. But when everyone's pointing to her, this is when this begins to cross that threshold. Number 3, probable cause. All right, this is when the police have enough evidence to believe that a crime has been committed and the suspect is involved. Here, the crew members' injuries, the photo lineup confirmation, and witness statements gave police probable cause for an arrest. Moving up one more level, we have preponderance of the evidence. This means that it's more likely than not that something happened. Okay, this is used mostly in civil cases where people are suing each other for money and things of that nature. A good example is if this were a civil lawsuit for an injury, the testimony and surveillance would likely satisfy the standard to the preponderance of the evidence. And once again, that means that a person has about 51% of the evidence in their favor, just enough to tip the scales in their favor. That's all that's required to win a lawsuit, a civil lawsuit. Now moving up, we have clear and convincing evidence. Now this standard means that it's highly probable and substantially likely that the claim is true. This is used also in some civil settings. Also, it can come up in the criminal side also. So this one is right in between what's required to win a civil case and what's required to win a criminal case. All right, so it's more than one, it's less than the other. It takes about 75% of the evidence to be in a person's favor to win this type of case, or to win this issue that's going to be requiring this standard. All right, it's used in cases where you need more evidence to prove your point. Cases like family law cases when parents are fighting to change custody. Administrative hearings where a person is dealing with the termination of employment or the revocation of a license. And you'll see it in criminal cases when a person has to prove certain defenses. Here, if this case involves a cruise line policy or a lifetime ban, this higher standard might be used. All right, finally, we have beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, this is the highest standard in the American legal system. It's required in every criminal case. This standard means that there is no other reasonable alternative besides the guilt of the defendant. Here, there's 3 eyewitnesses, security footage. A jury could realistically reach a verdict beyond a reasonable doubt based on just the evidence we have here. All right, so with that, let's move into the jury perspective. Let's switch hats and let's become the jury. Here are some of the big questions we need to deal with. First, if you heard from 3 people that someone committed a serious act, and then that same person was picked out of a lineup, how much weight would you give all of that? Next, would the suspect's claim of not remembering because of alcohol create enough doubt for you? Usually, okay, being intoxicated doesn't save you from criminal liability. Now, there's certain circumstances, if someone slipped you something, it made you so intoxicated you went to go do some crime. Yes. But like I said, that's not going to happen very often. That's going to be hard to prove. You're going to need to bring that clear and convincing evidence to bring that defense. Finally, now if her friend who's with her immediately distanced herself and confirmed the behavior, does that make the case stronger for the state? And finally, we always have to talk about your intuition when we're talking about legal cases. When the officers walked in and before any charges were read, even before any questions were asked, did your intuition already pick up on something that was off with her? Was it the shift in her language? Let me ask you this, because this comes up quite often. When people play up that English isn't their first language, especially when they come to court. People who understand English, but then there's a switch, and now when it's time for some accountability, or time to stand up, no one can speak the language anymore. It happens. Sometimes your gut knows the truth even before the law catches up. But in the end, you as a jury member have to make a decision. So tell me, guilty or not guilty? So, what's the takeaway here? On a cruise ship, in courtrooms, and in life, accountability matters. Alcohol is never an excuse for violence. Surveillance footage doesn't lie, and entitlement, whether it's on land or at sea, doesn't shield you from the consequences of your actions. This case reminds us that the law travels everywhere, even out to sea. Let me know in the comments. Should this woman be charged with aggravated battery? Was her behavior the result of intoxication, or was it just something deeper? And finally, if you were on a jury, what would your verdict be? Guilty or not guilty? Don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with someone, and please subscribe. And remember, this is Advocacy Alchemy, and I am Professor Ross. I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone be safe out there, and have a good day.